Welcome to the Wingman Show. My name is Drew Brown, and my wingman, my man, the number one guy I know, Dr. Paul Thompson. What's up, brother? Welcome to the Wingman Show. My name is Commander Drew Brown. We are floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. That other badass jet pilot, my main man, Dr. Paul Thompson. Good morning, Hollywood. What's up? Did you take your magic mind?
Yeah, good morning, Commander Drew, Dr. Drew, Mr. Drew, Commander Drew. I did have my magic mind. I took it about 40 minutes ago. I'm magic, I'm feeling good, and I'm ready to do the show. How are you today?
I'm great. I took my magic mind and I'm up and ready. So I guess we'll start with a quote. Everybody needs passion. That's what keeps life interesting. If you live without passion, you can go through life without leaving any footprints. That was by Betty White. I'll read it one more time, Doc. Everybody needs passion. That's what keeps life interesting. If you live without passion, you can go through life without leaving any footprints. Remember Betty White on the Golden Girls and all the other shows she did?
Yeah, she was in show business for a long time, many decades before we were born, I think, actually.
100%. That passion thing is key to me because I think if you give children purpose or you give anybody purpose and passion, there's nothing that can stop you. A lot of people don't make it because they don't have a purpose or a passion. They have nothing that really drives them. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Basically, that's part of the usefulness of having a goal, setting goals, something to go to. That's your passion there. Get it done. Something you like or something that just has to be done. It has to be there. You can't, we can't just push everything aside. Has something that you're going for, something that you're working on. You may never achieve it, but if you get, halfway along the journey, you may achieve more than you ever thought possible.
That's true. It's like when we were flying jets off aircraft carriers. To tell you the truth, it was so much fun. I couldn't believe they paid us. And that's when you have a job, when you don't realize or you don't need to get paid to do the job. You just love it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you do it for free.
That's right. All right, let's talk about some good news. Everybody talks about bad news, not the Wingman Show here. We'll talk about some good news. President Jimmy Carter just turned 100 years old, and that makes him the longest living president ever. How about Jimmy Carter turning 100, Paul?
Yeah, that's amazing. He's outlived a lot of people. It's amazing his Habitat for Humanity thing where he's building houses. I think he was doing that up until like a year ago or so, a couple of years ago. He did it till by 97, 98 years old. He's, helping build houses.
Well, I think he's living so long because he's such a kind, decent human being.
I think you're right. I think and again, that's your attitude determines your altitude, maybe determines your longevity too.
I think so. And I think they've done even studies on that. It doesn't seem like he stresses much. He's a good man. He really is. How about this news? Norway right now has more electric vehicles than it does gas vehicles. And they're on their way to start selling only electric vehicles by 2025. How cool is that?
That's interesting because Norway they have a lot of oil, but they're making the conversion. I think the European communities don't they have to maintain get certain standards by 2025 or by 2040 or something. If they don't, I think they get penalized.
Yeah, and Norway actually produces a lot of oil and gas.
Yeah, that's a place I've never been. I've been near there, but that's pretty impressive. I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Since you're the Tesla Pro, you're the only Tesla Pro I know. What's this thing about the thermal runaway? If the batteries get wet.
I don't know if the batteries get wet. I don't know anything about thermal runaway, but I will tell you something that I did find out. If you like I got that Cybertruck. If you just keep it unplugged, it loses battery life every single day. You cannot leave Tesla or a Cybertruck just alone for a month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and the most dangerous thing is if it runs out of batteries because
Hmm.
it has so much electronics in it, it needs to have those batteries running. So you have to kind of be charged up all the time.
Okay.
All right, how about this? You know, Spain is Europe's biggest producer of olive oil. And what do they do with all the pits? They have over 400,000 pounds, no, sorry, 400,000 tons of pits. Spain has found a way to use it as energy. They're using it to heat homes. They're using it even to fly airplanes. It's like they become those little wood pellets like I have in my Traeger grill, Paul.
Wow, it's a different source of energy. Some very creative people. Yeah, I remember we talked about that in the previous show some time ago about biomass fuels using, different kinds of oils to power airplanes. I think FedEx was starting to do that too.
Well, I'm sure they would, because I'll tell you something. This greenhouse effect is really affecting all of us. Anybody who says that the weather is not getting worse and more powerful is crazy, and you're just not looking at science. So, thank you, Norway, for helping solve a little bit of that problem. How about my man, Batman? Remember that?
Yeah, very, very well. Very well.
Well, he's the only superhero ever. He just got put on the Walk of Fame, Hollywood's Walk of Fame. He got his footprints in there.
I wonder if that is that all the Batman or just the TV version of it.
I think it's the TV, but I think it represents all Batmen.
I guess okay, it's the same uniform. If people don't know, Batman, in addition to the movies, used to be a TV show that ran for 3 years, like from 65 to 68. It was on ABC and everybody watched it. I met Batman one time. Did I tell you that? The
What?
original Batman. Yeah. He was he was really cool. Adam West was his name. Adam West. And met him at a conference. And if you paid a certain amount, you got a picture taken with him somewhere. Can't get the picture off my computer, but he was a nice guy. He was he's up in age. He passed away just a few years after that. He was actually hawking some stuff he was selling on the internet. Actually, some Batman memorabilia. He had a website, but he was okay, and he had the same personality uh, as he did on the show. And he was also the voice, wasn't he a mayor of something on The Simpsons? He was the
Oh,
voice of the mayor of the town on The Simpsons. Yeah, that was
really?
Adam West. Yeah, yeah. He was an interesting man.
Well, I remember. You remember the TV show that you go pow, wham,
Yeah.
zap, and they put those letters out on the screen. Well, this is what I thought about Adam West. I remember when I was a young man in Harlem, in the projects. I won't forget this. I was looking out the window and I heard that Batman made $50,000 a week. And back then, that just blew my mind. And right then and there, I asked God, dear God, can I just please make $1,000 a week when I grow up and travel all over the world? Well, God gave it to me, but I wanted to renegotiate on that $1,000 a week, though.
Yeah, yeah, you got to renegotiate. Another thing too about just throwing about TV. Sometimes TV and movies we can see things that really aren't real, but you think they're real as a little kid. I thought Batman was going to be like 6'9" and about 400 pounds, but I'm standing next to Adam West. I could basically pick him up.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
can pick him up with both arms, not one hand. But so it's not all that you think.
Well, you know, we have a great title for this show this week. It's How to Be an African Giant, Block Shots and Build Hospitals. And I'm talking about Dikembe Mutombo, who just passed away, I'm sorry to say, from brain cancer at 58 years old, a very young man. But he is so well loved around the world. He played in the NBA for 18 years. He was second in block shots. I'm going to ask you this on the air. Do you know who was first?
In block shots, I'm going to say Will Chamberlain.
Akeem Olajuwon. I just looked it up.
Okay. Okay.
He was eight.
I'm in the zone though. I got to be in the zone.
Yeah, you were close. That's what I would have guessed. He
Yeah.
was 8 times All-Star. He was the Defensive Player of the Year 4 times, but he was known for that finger wag. And he said he lost so much money from technicals from that finger wag. He would go, no, 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 every time he blocked your shot. And he said he lost a lot of money, but he said he never got a second technical and got kicked out of the game for it. But what really makes him a giant is that he built a hospital in the Republic of the Congo, the
Mhm.
Democratic Republic of the Congo. He built a huge hospital, and he was also on the board of the Special Olympics. He touched so many lives, Paul.
Yeah, one of the motivations for him to build that hospital was because his mother died because she couldn't get to a hospital because of
Wow.
all the troubles that they've had there for forever. Uh, there was during some kind of curfew period where no one could leave the house. And so, if you left the house, you got killed. In some places it's like that. It's like that today in some parts of the world, actually, as we speak. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Some of them are allies of the U.S. right now, so I won't go deeper into that. But anyway, that was his motivation. And yeah, he was a UN ambassador. He was like a global ambassador for the NBA. I just got a picture of him with the late Senator John McCain and his wife, and they went on tours of. I think they were in Somalia together at one point because he was doing some stuff there. He also built a school, a public school for kids, which is not really recognized. And I've seen him. He's also a philanthropist and a good guy. I got to see him play live one time. Just not to go too deep in the weeds here, but he played for a college basketball for a school called Georgetown in D.C. A lot of guys came out of Georgetown, Alonzo Mourning and the great Patrick Ewing. And I did get to see one game. The last time I saw him play, it was in Atlanta, and he blocked the shot of Patrick Ewing there. The Knicks were playing the Hawks. He just slammed the shot. Wow. Next play, he's at half court. They throw the ball to him. It's just Mutombo sprinting down the half court. Patrick Ewing came from the back court, accelerated, and before he could slam it, blocked his shot from behind.
Yeah,
That's like a
baby.
world class. I just watched this. You can see this on TV. It's like, wow. I mean, it's like an F-15 just launched and intercepted the ball because he said, no, 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 no. I'm going to get you. It was impressive. I still
Yeah,
remember.
I can't believe you were talking bad about our Knicks. And then when you came back with that story, it really made me happy.
Yeah.
Really made me happy.
Knicks lost that game, though. Let's be honest.
Well, he played for Georgetown. His son is 7'2", and he played 3 years at Georgetown.
Oh,
And
really? I didn't know that.
yes, and his jersey was retired by the Atlanta Hawks and the Denver Nuggets. He was one great guy.
He was.
Well, everybody, we're sponsored by Magic Mind. And Magic Mind says they do something with this thing called brain fog. Have you ever heard of brain fog, Paul?
Yes, yes. You get. I've had it. Especially, I got a little bout of COVID not long ago, and I had it for about 2 days, but 2-3 days.
Well, let me give the description of brain fog. It's a neurocognitive impairment that causes such symptoms as sluggish thinking, difficult processing information, forgetfulness, and an inability to focus, pay attention, or concentrate. And sometimes I get that. But I'll tell you what, since I took this Magic Mind, like I said, I'm learning my Hebrew and my Spanish on my Duolingo, and I'm starting to remember words better. I really am. No kidding, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. It does help. I do. I do have the Magic Mind, a little bit sharper, a little more focused, a little bit sharper, and no, I haven't had the brain fog when I'm doing the Magic Mind. I take mine in the morning.
I do too. And anybody out there, if you'd like to join Dr. Paul and myself in taking Magic Mind, all you have to do is go to magicmind.co. That's magicmind.co. And they will give you a 40% discount if you get a subscription. But if you just want to try it, put in the code Wingman20 and they'll give you 20% off. I think it's a good deal, don't you, Paul?
Yeah, I do. That's a good discount. Take a discount when you can get it.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your love, your subscriptions. We're really doing much better, and that's all because of you guys. Thank you so much. And if you look behind us, we got some badass jets, and I got an RAF-4. I think you said, Paul, it's a British F4 behind me. And Paul has a couple of A7s going around the carrier.
Yeah, I think both pictures are nice pictures. It's amazing what you can get on the internet.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much once again for watching us, for listening to us on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, watching our shorts on TikTok, on Instagram. Thank you so much for following us. We really do appreciate it. And if you watch us, please subscribe. That helps us out a lot. We have a website also, and it's called wingmanshow.com. Wingmanshow.com. And this week's newsletter is From Passion to Purpose, Using Your Gift to Help Others. Also on that website, wingmanshow.com, we have something called a frequent flow line. That means you can ask Dr. Paul and myself any question you'd like. And we have a question this week. It's from a woman, 52 years old, from Columbus, Georgia. She says, love your show and wants our opinion on this. I have a coworker that really irks me because of all of her comments are sometimes vulgar and always negative and judgmental. I need to be able to work with her. It's an uncomfortable work environment. Do you guys have any suggestions? Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, well, that's quite a problem. Uh, you need to get along with her. Sometimes, some people live on a very, very low level, or they're on their level. I think the thing that you have to guard against, don't let them bring you down to that level. And it's easier said than done, but you have to actively fight that. Who knows what's going on in their lives? And let's say you're 52 years old. I assume your coworker is roughly the same age. Doesn't really matter. They could be younger, they could be older, but don't let them bring you down to their level. Uh, I can suggest that give them something nice, say nice things. If they're always constantly negative, sometimes you got to move on. This is also the advantage of studying all the time. Maybe you need another job. Maybe you need to move on. Maybe you need to move up. Maybe you need to study something that'll get you in a different environment, or you can determine your own future. And at last, I'd suggest send them a link to the Wingman Show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I've watched this show a few times and just listen to us. All we do is positive stuff. That's what we try to do. Positive over the negatives. Maybe send it if you listen to it all the time. We appreciate, your viewership or listenership. Send her a few episodes or your favorite episodes. See what happens.
That's a great suggestion. I have to say this, nobody can affect you unless they touch you. So just remember that. Words can actually not affect you. You're affecting yourself because you're taking those words and you're getting emotional, you're getting judgmental, you're doing all those things with words. If she spoke to you in a different language, she'd be saying the same thing and you'd be laughing. So it wouldn't affect you. Just realize that you have your own mind and don't allow other people to get into your headspace. Somebody told me you should have a sign like a hotel does. No vacancies in your mind. No vacancies. We're not allowing you in. That's really important. And I'll give you a little nuclear weapon advice. Be nice to her. You can't beat nice. You cannot beat nice. And if you are really nice and really try to be nice, you never know what would be happening. You never know. All right, Paul, that brings us to a Wingman PSA. From the 11 Facts of Life, under fact number 1, be better than your parents and make this world better for your children. Once again, be better than your parents and make this world better for your children. Paul, I actually know some parents who are jealous of their children, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. I always wanted my children to be bigger, better, smarter, better looking, whatever. I wanted them to be better than me. And I worked my ass off to try to make this world a better place for my kids. You
Right.
know, it was very hard for me to be better than my dad in my head. My father thought I was better than him, but he trained Muhammad Ali. He was in Color Purple. He did all these great things. But I just, I flew jets off aircraft carriers. He thought I was better than him. I went to college and graduated. He thought I was better than him. But to me, I had to just keep doing more until I finally believed that I was better than him. And I made it. And he's very proud of me for that, Paul.
Yeah, I go, well, that's good, and it should be. I think it's kind of stunning to me that you say you had no people who were jealous of their children. I can't say I know anybody like that. Or are they in show business or sports or just regular folks?
Well, you can see people when they talk down to their kids. That means that they're jealous of them. They don't want them to get better than them.
Oh, okay. That's a crazy mentality, but those are people. Like I said earlier, sometimes folks live on a low level. I think that's a low level.
I think you said that correctly. That low level living, and that's the problem. You can't go down to their level. You got to stay on your level. And remember, happiness is the key. So if things make you happy, do it as long as they don't hurt other people. Well, in that magic mind, they have a bunch of ingredients. And one of the ingredients they have is something called MCT oil. MCT oil, it's coconut oil. And let me just give you a couple of facts about MCT oil. It can help lower your calorie intake. It can affect body composition and weight. It's a very good energy source. It might help body burn fat for energy, which is really good. MCT could help manage epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, and autism. And it can also help maintain blood sugar levels. That's amazing. Medium chain triglycerides. That's what MCT stands for. What do
Yeah,
you
that's
think of MCT?
that's good. I've got some downstairs. I usually put a tablespoon. I think it says one or two. Usually a tablespoon. I mix it in with a smoothie that's known as the Drew Brown Special.
Well, I drink it every morning with my coffee, believe it or not. I got a big gallon jug of it with a pump, and I pump 3 shots in my coffee cup, and I drink it every morning. So if it's good for me and it's good for Paul, maybe you guys should try it out there. All right, we have something called the gouge, and that's shit you need to know that nobody tells you. Well, I got some good gouge for you. Paul, which arm is best for vaccinations?
I always use my left arm.
That's
I guess same size as the heart. I don't know. I don't think it matters. They used to give it to you in your butt in some cases.
Well, what they're saying is that whatever arm you do use, you should get all your vaccinations in the same arm.
Okay. Okay. It's fine. I do that anyway because I guess I'm used to the feeling there. Okay, good. I was doing something good, didn't know.
How about that? How about we talked about it last week, but we didn't go into depth in it. But the best pizza in the world, that's very, very close to our hearts because we're New Yorkers. And
Right.
we definitely think New York pizza is the best in the world. Well, guess what? It is. It was voted best in the world. This place called Una Pizza Napolitano in New York. Number 2 was Diego Vidigliano Pizzeria in Naples. And guess what? Katrina and I actually ate there, and it was the bomb.
Really?
Excellent pizza. Number 3, the Pizza Bar on 38th in Tokyo, Japan. Number 4, Confine in Milan, Italy. And number 5, Napoli on the Road in London, England. Tell me about pizza.
Well, what that list, that is really bad news for one particular city. You know what that is?
Chicago.
Chicago. Chicago's not on the list. Sorry, they're upset. But I agree with it. The place in Naples, interesting. I don't think I ate pizza in Naples. I was in Naples quite a bit, but didn't eat pizza there. Had everything else. One thing that surprised me that Tokyo, Japan would be in there. That I wouldn't
Yes.
get.
Yes. That's amazing. But pizza's pizza. And if it's good, it's good. How about this one? This is really good, Gouge, and we should listen to this. Drugs that cause memory loss. Drugs that cause memory loss. Let me give you a little list of them. Benzodiazepines, which are called benzos in the street, beta blockers, tricyclic antidepressants, statins, narcotic painkillers. They can actually all affect your memory. What do you think, Paul?
Well, that's guess we can avoid those things. Statins are very common. By the time, I take one too, and also take CQ10, CoQ10, which I think helps counter that. That's the problem, with every drug, sometimes there's side effects, maybe small side effects, but they may build up over time. So it seems as though, it helps if you can take some kind of a natural supplement or something like that to counteract some of those negative effects, if that's a medicine you got to have.
All right, Paul. How about this? Can you give me the top 5 countries that were voted the best countries in the world? Can you think you know some of them?
Okay, some, let's say, we decide Australia, Switzerland. I'm going to guess Germany and Sweden.
The top 5 countries this year was Switzerland for the 3rd year in a row, then Japan, then USA, then Canada, then Australia. And I've been to all of them, except in Switzerland. I remember I was going to a fight internationally with Ali with my dad, and the plane stopped in Geneva, and I got off the plane and put my foot on the ground, so I was in Switzerland.
Okay. I was saying I changed trains in Switzerland one time. I was on the platform and got on the other
I think
train.
it counts.
Yeah, I think it does.
It counts. Well, the name of our show, everybody, is the Wingman Show. And the reason it's called the Wingman Show is because we always like to highlight people who take care of other people. And Dr. Paul Thompson, my man Hollywood, has a wonderful, wonderful wingman for you this week. Take it away, Paul.
Yes, we do have a wonderful wingman. And Commander Drew, have you ever heard in aviation parlance the term ACE?
Yes, the ACE camps.
ACE camps, yeah. Now, typically, ACE.
Albert Glenn used to have a lot to do with ACE clamps.
That's right. But anyway, the ACE, generally it's a fighter pilot that shot down 5 airplanes or more. You're technically an ACE, but this is a different kind of ACE. This is somebody that dared to dream, and in so doing, he fulfilled the dreams of a lot of people. I'm talking about a Mr. Julius Alexander. That ACE stands for Aviation Career Enrichment. Aviation Career Enrichment. And Mr. Alexander was a man that started flying in 1956. He flew. He got his pilot's license in 1964. Had quite a few difficulties between those years, but he really wanted to be a fighter pilot. That never happened. That was his dream, but that never happened. He graduated from Morehouse College and became a public school teacher, but he was always fascinated in aviation. And he basically started a program in a school that he was teaching in. And he found that by incorporating things in aviation, flying, and discipline, that he had great success with what you call underprivileged youth. And that caused him to delve into it a little bit further. And he got with Cessna Aircraft and some other educators. And he wrote this article in 1970 for Science Activity magazine about his success with teaching kids how to fly. Long story short, a decade later, he founded something called ACE, Aviation Career Enrichment. It started with him. This is 1980. And it's basically a weekend flight academy for young people age 9 to 18 to learn how to fly. But he was teaching everybody. He was actually inducted into the Georgia Aviation Hall of Fame in 2011. And he also did programs for Tuskegee University. And you mentioned our friend Captain Albert Glenn. Captain Albert Glenn told me that Julius Alexander had helped him in his program in setting up the Luke Weathers Flight Academy and also a summer flight academy they had Tuskegee University. And he told me, he said, he shared his resources with us. He did a lot of stuff. So it was so impressive that the Organization of Black Aviation Professionals started their own versions of ACE camps in the summer in around 1992. I was a part of 3 of them, but it's really the idea from Mr. Alexander. I got to meet him one time at a dinner. Very, very nice man. He influenced a lot of people. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, and I was at his memorial service recently. I would say there are about 1,000 people there. And some of the people that you know, one of them was one of our coworkers who soloed under Mr. Alexander in 1969, went on to be an Air Force pilot and retired from FedEx about 10, 15 years ago. He leaves a tremendous legacy because also in the audience were a wide assemblage of professional airline pilots, military pilots that he touched. And people range from the age of from teenagers to elderly men who could only walk with the assistance of a cane. He spanned about 55 years, and he's still giving back. His son runs it now, who's a captain for Delta Airlines, and the next generation is continuing the ACE camp. So this special person is Mr. Julius Alexander. He's touched the lives of many thousands and many thousands of people that he doesn't even know that he touched the lives of.
Wow, that's wonderful. And we were talking in the beginning of the show of passion and purpose. And if kids don't know anything about flying or never been close to an airplane, there's no way they think that they could do something like that. I remember when I first got in my first airplane, I looked at all them gauges and I was like, no way in hell can I do all this. But when you get somebody who looks like you and talks like you and can actually get you in the air, you never know, that might spurn something that will grow forever. And that would be purpose and passion. And that's what we had. We had purpose and passion for flying. So everybody out there, thank you so much for listening to us and watching us. Anything that you think is important, anything that you think is beautiful, and whatever makes you happy, may you have that today and forever. I pray for peace. Thank you for watching and listening to us.
And I pray for peace too, Commander Drew. And I appreciate all those who listen, like, and share our message. Please give us a thumbs up or a like on YouTube. It helps the algorithm to spread this message. Pass this on to somebody that you know. It's like I say, pass it on to somebody you like, even someone you don't like. If it's a coworker or someone that gets on your nerves or someone you love to death, tell them to take this and pass it on. And no matter what happens, keep your chin up.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.